So tell me about what native AI native actually, what does that mean to you? Because for most products, if they've been in market for a couple of years, they're probably not AI native to begin with. So 6 Sense is, but most products aren't, and it's going to be retrofitted or built in, or what does that mean to you?
Yeah, and I think AI native is interesting. And I was just at a Salesforce Ventures Summit, and where they bring together is like 200 entrepreneurs of all different kinds of AI, enterprise AI companies, SaaS companies. And I think one of the interesting things I noticed was, I mean, you could argue the only truly AI native companies are those that were born after ChatGPT 3.5. And sometimes when I meet some of these startup entrepreneurs, I'm kind of jealous,
Yeah,
because they're really building their business from the ground up just differently. And I think a lot of the VCs are talking about now, $200 million companies, like these coding assistants, they're being built with almost no employees because these startups are just using AI from the beginning, to automate all their
right.
processes. So I think like in the world of startups anyway, you're probably only, and I started G2 over 10 years ago, so I would say we're not truly AI first either. Although on the product side, we're actually just launching a G2.ai, and we have added AI capabilities. Like I mentioned, our AI buying assistant, Monty. We've also trained Monty to help software sellers on G2, but we're actually going to try that and, launch a whole new G2.ai experience, which will be agent interaction first. Whereas G2.com, if you look at it, it's a Web 2.0 experience. We obviously think a pretty good one, but it's kind of the way you would have built a website 10 years ago.
Hmm.
Whereas today, well, and in 5 years, who knows, maybe there won't be any websites. You know what I mean? Like we'll just
No.
interact with AI agents, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, or whether it's our AI Monty. So I think there's a tremendous opportunity to really reimagine AI first experience. And I
Yeah.
don't think I know exactly where it's going to be in 5 years. Same thing that people are saying about CRM systems. Like, is any sales rep still going to log into the CRM, to update their opportunities or contacts their accounts? Or are they
Yeah.
going to be talking to an AI agent that, brings to them, hey, here's this really hot, like we talked about, here's this perfectly hot qualified lead. Your number one priority this morning is follow up with them. Here's your AI briefing, everything you need to know about the account, why they're a great fit, what their problems are, what your pitch is, and just go at it, and then
Yeah.
the AI just listens to that first call, pulls all the structured data
Goes
you
into
need out
place.
to update your forecast, your pipeline, but the AE never is logging into a CRM anymore. They're just doing their job, interacting with an AI agent that's guiding them as they're doing their work. And behind the scenes, the AI is pulling out the structured data. We still need to do the things we traditionally do in CRM, like updating accounts, updating contacts, updating
Hmm.
opportunities, updating forecasts. But the rep, no longer has to log in any system. And I think that, that may be the future. Who knows? And I think
Yeah,
a lot of salespeople would love that,
for
and I
sure.
worked at Salesforce, great company, obviously leader at CRM, when after they acquired our startup Steelbrick, but no sales rep ever is like, oh, I'm excited to log into CRM and update it.
Right. Yeah, that's always a chore. It's also the thing that prevents the organization from really understanding its customers, from being able to take really great actions to build a better experience, to be more efficient. So
Mhm.
it's that particular interface of sales reps updating records has, it's still deeply flawed. Fixing that is probably a gateway to enormous efficiencies elsewhere in the business. Just having a full set of trustable information about what's actually happening on the front lines could be tremendously valuable. And then when you
Right.
think about, so if I think, you mentioned, the Web 2.0 experience or otherwise, and it's not really AI native yet in most cases. We can also think, well, if our go-to-market were AI native, if our just not a single system, but our whole go-to-market were really AI native and built from the ground up, whether it had to be retrofitted or not. But now it is an AI native system because what it's doing is taking full advantage of what AI can bring to that go-to-market process. So I'm not delivering a lead that somebody has to follow up with. I'm delivering instead an appointment with AEs and systems engineers on one side and a buying group on the other. Like, the AI takes us to the point where those people who are in a buying process and these people who can help them decide if this is the right vendor for them show up at a meeting where they're both prepared to have a great conversation about how they move forward, as opposed to somebody chasing 10 different people to get that one meeting. Why wouldn't, buyers already, all of our research, and I think everybody else's at this point too, just, buyers don't do what we think they do. They don't engage with us because we chase them. They engage with us when and if they've decided that they're far enough in market that they want to buy either from us or a competitor, and we're in that process. And now that's when they decide to engage. And so buyers have already left behind that old world. And the addition of things that you were talking about, the agents that help buyers find all of the information they need without going to somebody's website, could be really impactful. Then I think your website has to become something else, right? If it's going to be useful, if it's not going to be just information, it's going to have to be something where a buyer, at the very least, gets an experience so that they can understand what it's like to be your customer and whether that's a thing they want to be, as opposed to just information, right?
Yeah, it has to be something they
Yeah,
can't get from ChatGPT, which you're right. It could be like a really immersive demo experience.
right. Yeah,
AI has actually pre-configured, let's say, your 6 Sense solution for that particular company.
right.
Because you know enough about their industry based on data, their use cases, where you can say, hey, by the way, we've already set up 6 Sense for you. How would you like, would you just like to try it? So I think
Yeah,
it will take the websites to the next level. And I would say the other role of the website is still going to be to provide data. And we've also said now our new vision for G2 is to be the trusted data source in the age of AI. Because at the end of the day, we all know these LLMs, these AIs, I mean, they get their answers from somewhere, right? They have to be
they
trained
do.
on.
Yeah,
And so maybe the future website is sort of dual purpose. One side of your website is more data, just training data for the LLMs and the AIs. And maybe your prospects don't even see that unless they really want to just read details, right? And then the other side is a very immersive customer experience where they can get right into a personalized experience your product. And so I think it will be, and honestly, I don't know exactly where it's going to be in 5 years, but I think I
yeah.
could see that, where one, the website has deep experiences you can't ever get through a generic agent like ChatGPT. And on the other side, it has a ton of great training data that the LLMs trust, so that because they need to be updated. So I think it'll be really interesting. And I think people are also saying that's like the new SEO. Some people are calling it GEO,
Yep.
generative engine optimization, right? So it's but everything is changing, Kerry, and I think it is
Yes,
really
it is.
exciting. And I think those of us can go to market. I mean, the nice thing is there's low-hanging fruit